Welcome back to Bendin Wrenches, everyone. This is the dozer edition. We got our buddy's 17 Denali that we put a 6-inch rough country lift. We got the front done in the last video. Today we're going to finish up the rear, and then we're putting a nice Flowmaster American Thunder Series exhaust on it. We got the front suspension. We got the valance cut a little bit. Got all that buttoned up. We're just here to wrap up this project. Unsquat it, of course, because we don't roll like that around here. You know, we lift our trucks. So we got this part next. Like I said, we got our Flowmaster nice exhaust kit for it. So we're gonna get started. Alright, the rear is a little bit easier. Basically, we got to take off these U-bolts here. You see these mounts. This one has the MagneRide suspension, like we discussed earlier with the spacers in the front in the earlier video. So we got basically some big-ass lift blocks we're going to put back here. They make this one quite a bit easier for us, but, you know, it's still fun, you know? I mean, look how big that son of a bitch is. That's got to be, that's a real 6 inches, you know? So we're going to get that put in. We do have some shock extensions because they don't make an actual longer MagneRide shock. So basically it lifts the shock. Extend the vacuum, or the breather line. Parking brake cable brackets, a couple things like that. And then once we get that out of the way, then we'll start on the exhaust. We got pretty much a catback kit here. It's gonna go pretty much from here back to a dual. I think it's like a 45 out the sides or something like that. And then we'll have to work on putting our wheel lights on too. So we're gonna go through and pull the rear brakes apart so we can go ahead and attach those brackets. That's always fun. So yeah, we're gonna get back to her, guys. Okay, so we are gonna be getting into the U-bolts right now. And we got to pull the shocks loose. And then, luckily we don't have to pull the drive shaft or any of that fancy stuff. This is pretty basic setup back here. Like I said, we're just going to pull the U-bolts and stuff, let the rear end drop down, and then stuff some big ass blocks in there. So we're going to get our trusty spray first. We got our favorite stuff here, the old Deep Creep by Seafoam. Make sure you just squirt them all down good. You know, you want to just fucking hose. I just hose them down, you know, just. And then it should come right off. Let's get back to her. All right, we got our trusty transmission jack here. Gonna use it to support the rear end, and then we're gonna pull our shocks loose first, and then we're gonna pack those U-bolts like we talked about. Once we get that ready to go, we should be able to settle this down a little bit and then get those blocks set in there and then squish her back up. So you get your 21mm swivel socket. Makes light work of those there. We're gonna be using these fasteners, so we don't want to lose any of this stuff. So make sure we save our fasteners. I'm gonna go ahead and throw them on the ground there. Got another 21. We're going to pull these U-bolts loose. Ideally, it's a pretty clean truck, so they should come off, but this says Northern Michigan, so rust is not our friend around here. So right, we got that rear end supported. Good deal. Okay, so the driver's side is loose. We'll get our might need a little tappy and then we can get that. So we got the passenger side loose. Gonna pull this passenger side loose. Excuse me. We got the driver's side loose earlier, and then should be able to set this down. They're saying we got to trim these tabs for the Magna ride because it kind of sandwiches between the block and the leaf spring. So I guess we'll see when we get there. Look at all that dirt. That's good old Michigan sand right there. Nice to fill up your impact with it. Good for lube, you know. Look at that. But you know them U-bolts, man, we can save those now. We're gonna hang them right on the shelf for the next Chevy truck with theirs rotted off. So that'll come off like that. We're gonna reuse these. These are the, like I said, they go around the bottom of the axle for your U-bolts to kind of sandwich the axle and leaf spring together. Let's get all this stuff out of our way. All right. We're gonna see if this guy is gonna come down. Hopefully it's fairly balanced. If not, it might get interesting. Oh yeah, look at that. Buttery smooth. Not like we've done this before, maybe. I mean, these aren't 2.5 tons, but half ton, I guess. Kind of the same thing. Got some old blocks we don't use anymore. Now we're going. So there, I see the tabs. There's some tabs they want us to trim off on the bottom here. Let me show you guys. The like an alignment tab. Yeah, right there. So we got to go ahead and flatten those off because the new blocks don't have a provision for them. So other than that, we're about ready to put the blocks in. So we got to pull these Magna ride brackets down. They kind of just tap off there. Guys, a little tappy tap. You know, these are big ass channel locks. There we go. Hey. So ideally, we're gonna just kind of squish them flat. The new blocks, like I said earlier, they don't have the provision for it, so pretty straightforward. Just kind of give them a little bend with the pliers, and once they're ready, they'll kind of squish flat when you tighten the block up here. I'll do the best you can. That's what you can do, folks. Just go ahead and give it a little squish, and hopefully, not hopefully it will. It's gonna go right flat. So we got to make sure we clean off our mounting surfaces too. That's another big thing. Kind of just dust them off. Make sure there's no dirt or debris in where the center pin seats. So I looked at the directions, which is hard to believe, and they want us to bolt the U-bolt, or excuse me, the block to the leaf spring with a couple extra U-bolts, little guys. And then we saddle the axle, and it works out kind of nice. It kind of supports the block, so we'll grab that real quick. So we got our blocks here. We got our U-bolts. We're gonna go ahead and lower this down a little more. Gotta kind of watch everything that's going on. Parking brake cables are getting kind of taut. So you can kind of start to get the gist of where this guy's going here. Just gotta watch your speed sensor wires and all that good stuff. So we're gonna get this bolted in. And again, make sure you keep your Magna ride piece on there. So we're like, you know, 4 hands would be nice. Really just need that block to get in there. Just like that. This is what Rough Country was suggesting. Go ahead and put these little U-bolts on there. That way you can kind of support them a little bit while you're fiddling with 12 different things. See, we'll get that position back on our center pin, and that way we're ready to reposition the axle back where it needs to go. Like I said, that little flat dealio there will kind of just squish flat when we tighten them up here. We're going to leave these loose. Until we get everything in its final position. There we go, guys. That's the basic gist of it. Got it kind of hanging there. Again, we're going to fiddle with our center pin, get that lined up here, and then go ahead and kind of get that sandwich back together. And then we got to put our shock extension on here. We'll get to that. Okay, we're down to the U-bolts. We're going to go ahead and drop them over. And then we'll end up reusing them lower brackets like we previously discussed. We got these guys here. We are going to reuse those. So basically, we got ourselves a 6-inch lift. When it comes to these, you want to kind of put everything loosely together before you just send her home. This kit came with all new hardware, so it makes it nice. I mean, fortunately, like I said earlier, truck's not too rusty, so we have to cut anything, but that just makes it a lot easier. Especially when it's charity work, you know. Just remember, folks, piece of advice, don't get a hoist. It's not worth it. Should have became a banker or, you know, a secretary or something, you know, not... Don't let this be your passion. I'm just kidding, it's a good time. We'll go ahead and finish and get these all tightened up. We'll get them shock extensions on, and then it's about time to probably put our wheels on shortly after this. We're going to service the rear differential because we're here. It's got 76,000 miles. Nobody's been in there before, so it ain't going to hurt it. We already did the front. We're going to do the transfer case. Just get all that stuff taken care of while we're here. But, yeah, we'll get this all tightened down here. And again, we don't want to send her home. Just get it to a point of kind of seating the block on the center pin. It's like a big sandwich. You know, you got your leaf spring, you got your meat, you got your bun. We still got our bracket sandwiched in the middle. We're going to jump over to the other side and get that wrapped up. And then we'll go ahead and tighten these little U-bolts here. Them are the last piece of the puzzle. Kind of a nifty way of doing it when you're doing a big block. It kind of spreads the load out so you don't have as much axle wrap. I mean, we got a mud truck with about 12 inches of block. Just a piece of shit though, but it's got some axle wrap. You don't want to twist her up too much. So let's get this stuff buttoned up. So we got our shock brackets all set up on there. Basically allows us to reuse the factory length shock with the Magneron like we talked about earlier. There's no extended ones. Got our new blocks in. All that stuff is set up, torque to spec. Well, you know, whatever. 3-4 ugga-duggas. I mean, it's good. It's good. All right, yeah, we got both sides all wrapped up. Got our parking brake relocator. It looks kind of tacky, but that's what Rough Country sells. I think the next thing we're gonna get into is we're gonna get the wheels on her, get her on the ground. I guess we do have the wheel lights still, but yeah, we'll get that stuff wrapped up and get back at her. So it's going pretty smooth other than that. I mean, everything, the kit's been nice. Would definitely suggest it. You know, I mean, it's cheap, $1,000 for 6-inch lift. That ain't bad. But it is strut spacers and all that BS. But if it gives you the look you want, you know, cool. Let's get back to her. Well, we got the rear end all buttoned up and got the wheels and everything on. Got everything down, torque to spec. Got our blocks. We actually got our rim lights on. See kind of how the blocks end up working out with the shock spacers, all that good stuff. So we're going to jump on to the exhaust system next. We got that Flowmaster kit we're going to throw on. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long, because once that's done, the thing is out of here. Going to the alignment shop tomorrow, and we're off. So we could take it for its first rip, so we'll see how it goes. I know last time I had one of these trucks, they kind of rode like a piece of shit, but we'll find out. It's all about looks, remember? Okay, we're under the truck. We're gonna go ahead and spray all our hangers. Use the old deep creep like we used earlier. Use that for damn near everything. Biggest thing is you wanna spray them, get them lubed up. There's a couple of them anyways. And again, we just want to get this old exhaust off. So we got these handy hanger pliers. And honestly, if you guys don't have these and you do exhaust work, you got to buy them. I mean, they're Lyle tools, they're cheap, but they just make light work of shoving that off there. You know, you get into channel locks or any other BS, it's just a pain in the behind. Kind of shoves them right off. So we'll have to watch out here, have our camera guy kind of grab the old muffler, so bonk him in the head.
That's kind of slick.
Yep, he's gonna drop here in just a second. So got that one. The front one's kind of hanging up. So we're still kind of caught on the front. Here in a second, we should be able to kind of give her a tap a little bit and yeah, we're just gonna get the exhaust to tap and hopefully there it is. This one here's kind of being a bugger. There it is. Now it's down. It'll just rest right here, John. So we're gonna spin around. We got one more in the back. And what's nice about these exhaust kits is usually they'll come out in one piece. Just gotta make sure she don't bonk you in the face. It might be entertaining though, you know. Ready? Coming down. So there's the exhaust. So at this point, we're going to try and get it to fish backwards. And then it'll come down. I can tell you this, our newfound lift kit has definitely helped out with this.
Oh, that's true.
Perfect time to cut them kitties off, you know? I'm just kidding. So there you go. About 2 minutes, real time, we got the exhaust out of this truck. So now we get to take and start mocking up the Flowmaster stuff. It's a direct fit kit, so hopefully it don't take too long. So we'll get started on it now. So we got our erector set all opened up. We got a handful of pieces here. It looks pretty straightforward. We got couplers there, and got all this guy here. So we're gonna start getting her bolted in. Hopefully it goes pretty smooth. Gonna find out. So these kits are supposed to be pretty straightforward. Got our new clamp here. These are like a ball and seats, so they don't need a gasket. We'll leave that loose for now. Our truck is a crew cab with a 6-foot box, so we got to add a little extension pipe on here. Remember guys, everything just kind of slip fits. So we're gonna do that. We got a little jack stand we're gonna grab. Everybody has a pet peeve. I like to line the clamps up, at least so they kind of, you know, match when you tighten everything up. This was gonna get kind of questionable for a moment. So we start shoving our tailpipes in just a second here. Yeah, small details like that, guys, goes a long way. Keeping the clamp straight and organized, and this looks a lot better overall. We don't need our extension pipe here. That looks better, huh, John?
Yeah, there's more like it. To go right in that mount right there. Pretty nice fit.
Now the biggest thing is you don't want to tighten anything up yet. What'll happen is everything will kind of naturally fall into place once we get it all together. Then it really can't go anywhere. We got our other tailpipe. Looking pretty darn snazzy already.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're gonna get this thing wrapped up here. She's fitting in nice. A couple more pieces left. My buddy elected for the 45s out the side, so that's what we're going for. So let's get her done. Well, we finally came to a long, long road, guys. We got her licked. So front end is all done. Everything is torqued and checked. We got our new exhaust on here. That went on super nice. Like we said earlier, them prefab kits are just premium. Especially Flowmaster, old school sound. It's gonna be great. The old American Thunder series. How can you go wrong? Tips turned out nice. Just like you was wanting. It's more of a 90, I don't want to say it's a 90. It's like a, you know, like a 60. So we're gonna go ahead and lower her down and let you guys hear the first fire up with her. Got the first fire up with the new exhaust on it. That don't sound too shabby. Limiter check, you know. Still pretty tame, isn't it? Hey guys, we got this thing all wrapped up out here. Looking fresh, new exhaust on her, got the wheel lights set up. Not looking too shabby. Little tire rubbage on the front there, you know, but it'd be all right. Just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Two-part series here, we appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Much love.